Hello, Sam here, and welcome to the Built by Sam mini podcast. So, you have started your prep. Now what? In today's episode, we are going to dive into the big picture of what to do next now that you've started prep. We're going to break it down into 3 big phases: early, mid, and late prep, keeping it simple. So, if you're in prep right now, I want you to think about which phase of that you are in. Are you right when you're starting prep, kind of in the middle, or the very tail end? And if you are not in prep right now and you're just watching this so you're ready, just make sure you save this so you can come back to it when you do start prep. So, early prep, we're thinking this is right at the start, 12 or more weeks out from your show. What are the big things that you need to do? 1, order your heels. You need to be 100% comfortable in your heels, and getting them right away is the best way to make sure that you are able to do that. That way you can also check in with them. So if your coach hasn't asked you to get your shoes yet, do that now, right when you start prep. Even if you are really far away or you're maybe still in like pre-prep or off season, you could still get your shoes so you can start to feel more comfortable in them. I really like the Shoe Fairy shoes, and I do have a discount code, SamLeeFit. You can get 10% off. I personally like the mules, so not the shoes with the little extra strappies or the buckle, but the mules. And I have the 2.0 Olympian, so the slightly shorter heel and shorter platform. Love them. I've had Shoe Fairy for the last 2 seasons. First season I had the original Olympian. This one I had the 2.0. Way easier to pose in. So I'd recommend that, and the mule feels nice and secure. I love it. So that's what I would recommend as well. Easy to get on and off backstage, and way less stress. So again, that is SamLeeFit for 10% off at checkout. Now, what else should you be doing at the very start of prep? And this is starting your posing. Yes, this far out, you should be starting your posing ASAP. When you know you want to do a show, when you know you're getting ready for one, posing needs to happen. The reason I'm saying start this all the way when you're 20 plus weeks out is posing comes down to muscle memory, and there is really no way to rush muscle memory. It just takes time and repetition. So the more time you give yourself to make that happen, the happier you on stage is going to be. Like, you on stage will not regret starting posing practice right away. And I would recommend doing no less than weekly, maybe on your check-in day. But if you can do it at least a couple times a week, that is even better. And if this means finding a posing coach, find yourself a posing coach. You can always tell the girls on stage that, one, just learned from like YouTube or following Instagram tips. And you can tell the girls that have not practiced. It is extremely obvious on stage, and the judges are definitely going to be able to tell. So start posing now. And if you are in Iowa, I do offer one-on-one posing. So if you're interested, feel free to reach out. But I recommend hiring a posing coach right away. All right, so that's the biggies in the first part of prep. Obviously, in addition to, hitting your macros, getting in your training, doing your cardio. So basically following the plan your coach has laid out is obviously going to be important too. So we want to be hitting our plan, we want to get our shoes, and we want to start posing ASAP. Now, phase 2, we're in the middle of prep. This is like 6 to that 12 weeks out mark. What do we want to do there? Well, around that 8 to 10 week out mark, we want to get our suit. And the reason we're waiting a little bit longer is because we want to make sure we're getting closer to what we're going to look like on stage. So we don't want to be so far out we're not even close to our stage weight. But that 8 to 10 week out mark, we're going to be close. So we're like, all right, we roughly know where we're going to be when we step on stage, so your suit maker can make a suit that's going to fit you when you are stage lean, because they're going to be able to estimate about where you're going to be. But it also gives you time to get your suit, order it, get it mailed to you, and make sure everything is fine. So about that 8 to 10 week out mark. We also want to continue to practice our posing. This is a great time to start finding any group classes in addition to your one-on-one posing with your posing coach. That way you can start to get a feel for what it's like to practice with others around you, because practicing at home in the mirror or alone with your posing coach is going to be way different than practicing with a girl on each side of you while you're practicing your comparisons. So that's going to give you a feel for what it's like to actually be on stage, be around people, have more eyes on you. It's going to be much more stressful than it would be to practice at home or with just your posing coach. And that's kind of the point as well, is you're getting used to practicing when your nerves are a little bit higher and that anxiety is elevated a little bit. Also, this is a great time to seriously start looking at which shows you're going to lock in. So like, what show do I want to do? This is the one I'm going to sign up for, and even potentially signing up. And I want to stress this is going to be closer to that 6-week out mark, not that 12-week out mark. So you want to sign up for your shows as close to the show date as possible within reason, not like the day before. But that way you are mitigating any chance of life throwing you a weird curveball and you plans have to change. So that's why I recommend like around that 6-week, maybe even the 4-week mark out. It just kind of 4-week out mark. Sound that weird. That way there's less chance some random curveballs changing your whole plan, because shows don't give refunds. So, all right. So the biggies for mid prep are getting your suit. Oh, and jewelry. This is a great time to order your jewelry. So really just like some earrings, bracelet, maybe a ring if you're feeling extra fancy. But yeah, so suit, jewelry, continue practicing posing and start attending any group classes that you can. Make sure you're still seeing your posing coach. And this is the time where you want to start upping how much you're practicing, at least a few times per week, in addition to like the group posing and with your posing coach. And then we also want to make sure we're really locking in and deciding and potentially signing up for our show that we're going to do. And also get your federation card. So whatever federation you're going to be doing, make sure you get your membership. All right, now we're in the final stretch of prep, so like less than 6 weeks out. If you haven't signed up for your show, this is the time that you need to do it. If you haven't gotten that federation card, this is the time that you need to do that. And then also you want to lock in your itinerary or travel plans or whatever you need to do to get to the show. So if it's local, it's great. You can just be at home. But if it's not, make sure you're booking your hotel. Make sure that you have any airline tickets if you're going to have to fly to your show. Make sure you have your car rented or whatever it may be. Make sure you have all of that sorted out at this 5-ish, 4-ish week out mark, maybe even that 6-week out mark. So kind of on the fuzzy line right there. But then that way everything is sorted out, and make sure you know where the hotel is in comparison to where the venue is, because sometimes they're not the same. So NPC, oftentimes it's all in the host hotel, but with OCBs and other natural federations, the venue is oftentimes not at the host hotel, so you need to know where both of those places are and how are you going to get from host hotel to the venue. And this is also when you want to book your tan, book your hair, and book your makeup. So show hair, show makeup, and show tan. And then any outside appointments that you maybe need to make to get ready for your show day. So any final like hair appointments with your personal hairstylist, any nail appointments that you need to make, and if you're getting a bikini wax, make sure you're making that. This is the time to make sure you have all of that sorted out. And then continue practice your posing. At this point, you want to be practicing daily. That doesn't mean you need to be doing 40-minute posing marathons, but 10, 15 minutes daily is going to make sure you're really being able to get in those tweaks that you've probably made with your posing coach as you get closer to the show. You can really hammer those in because you've been practicing since the beginning. You have all of the big things down. You have all your steps. You know how to hit a front pose. You know how to hit your back pose properly. So you're making those small adjustments like, hey, should we turn your foot a little bit more this way or a little bit this way? Should we turn your hips a little bit this way, a little bit this way? So you're being able to focus on those tiny things that you're going to be tweaking rather than trying to just learn how to pose 6 weeks out, because that's a big no-no. This would also be a great time to practice weekly with your posing coach and or doing some group posing. Again, just repetition is how you're going to feel comfortable on stage, and it will show. People that practice, you can tell on stage versus those that have not, and it stands out. Last but not least, in this stage, you want to give yourself a pat on the back because you have made it to the final stretch of prep. Many people never make it here. Many people never make it to stage. So the fact that you've made it to the last little bit of prep, you should really be proud of yourself because you're hungry, you're tired, you're ready to just eat some food. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for the show. And like I said, many people don't make it this far. Many people don't make it to stage. So the fact that you've made it to the last little bit of prep, and when you get to stage, really just congratulate yourself and be proud, because it's an accomplishment. I think that wraps everything up. Big things are getting your heels, starting posing right away. Middle phase, you want to get your suit, your jewelry, potentially sign up for your show, get your federation membership. And in that last little bit, if you haven't already signed up for your show, sign up for your show. Make sure you get your hotel, airline, any other logistical things sorted out. Tan, makeup, hair for the show, and then any hair, nail appointments, anything like that that you need to do personally to get ready for the show to make sure you're 100%. And then continuing to practicing your posing throughout that last phase of prep is super important. All right, if you have any questions, please feel free to comment under this video, or any suggestions for future videos, please let me know. And for online contest prep, you can check out builtbysamlee.com. And until next episode, peace out.